What's going on, everybody? This is your WOF Outlook and discussion for Thursday, April 13th, 2023. And before we get into today's video, I hope everyone is doing well, remaining positive, and as always, staying blessed. All right, you guys, taking a look at the surface map this morning, you can see we still have high pressure off the east coast of the out in the Atlantic, you guys. We still have our Gulf flow here that has moved inland across Alabama, Mississippi, and Florida, which stayed to our east here across southeast Louisiana. So we really didn't see too much impacts here in the immediate New Orleans metro area, but we did have some heavy rain further down near the Mississippi Delta, you guys. But as we take a look here across the Pacific Northwest, you guys, you can see we have more showers filtering on into parts of Washington and Oregon, you guys. So expect some rain there later on throughout the day here. We also have a general thunderstorm risk here across parts of Montana, Idaho, and extreme northeast Washington, you guys. As we come further south here across parts of the Rockies, we could see some thunderstorms as well. We do have a marginal risk here across parts of the Texas, Oklahoma panhandle, then into Kansas, Nebraska, and parts of eastern Colorado. We'll have to watch out for some severe weather today. And as we come to the south, you guys, we have an enhanced risk here across southern Georgia for some severe weather, you guys, as this Gulf low continues to move inland. All hazards of severe weather will be possible with this system. As you can see, we have tornado watches currently ongoing here across parts of the Florida Panhandle, southern Georgia, Alabama, but a new tornado watch may be being issued here within the next hour or two across parts of southern Georgia, you guys. And as you can see, the low here continuing to track northwest, now starting to enter parts of eastern Mississippi. Now, as I pause this, you guys, and I take all of this off so we can get to the severe weather that's going to be going on. All right, let's get all of this off, you guys. All right, take that off and take that off. And I got one more thing, you guys. All right, and as you can see, we have an enhanced risk here for parts of southern Georgia, and that does include places like Albany, Douglas, Valdosta. Y'all know I butcher's name, so I'm going to try. Fitzgerald, Brainbridge, all these areas in southern Georgia is under an enhanced risk of severe weather, and all hazards will be possible. We do have the slight risk for severe weather for parts of Montgomery, Alabama, Troy, Alabama. Dothan is right on the edge of the enhanced and slight risk here. Columbus. Then we go into parts of the Florida Panhandle, Tallahassee, Panama City, Lake City, Jacksonville. Even as we go down to Florida's East Coast, Daytona Beach, I was about to say Panama Bay, you guys, Palm Bay, Port St. Lucia, West Palm Beach, as we continue to go all the way down to Fort Lauderdale, Miami. Fort Lauderdale had basically catastrophic flooding yesterday. So, you guys will have to be on the lookout for some heavy rain again here across parts of the Florida's East Coast. As we check the probability here, and before we check the probability, and then there's also the marginal risk of severe weather, which does include the Atlanta area. And now we're going to check the probability for this severe weather to see what we could possibly be looking at, you guys. And as we check for tornadoes, you can see no tornado threat here across the Texas Panhandle, Oklahoma Panhandle, and Kansas and Nebraska, but that's severe threat. But here across southern Georgia, we do have a 10% chance for tornadoes, 5% for parts of southern Alabama and into parts of the Florida Panhandle, with a then general 2%, which goes all the way down to the Miami area. As we take a look at hail probability, 5% chance of hail across the south here and the Florida Peninsula. And as we go to the wind probability, it looks like across the Texas, Oklahoma Panhandle, Kansas, and Nebraska, that threat is going to mainly be for probably some damaging winds here later on this evening. And as well here across parts of southern Alabama, Georgia, and Florida, as the daytime heating gets going and this low pressure starts to ignite some of these severe thunderstorms down here across the south. And we don't have no significant tornado risk, no significant hail risk, and no significant wind risk, you guys. So that's all good news. Now what we're going to do, you guys, is we're going to take a look at the HRRR to see how these possible sales will continue to evolve here throughout the day. All right, let's see. And we're going to start with, you guys, we're on the 13th. We're going to start with 1 o'clock, you guys. All right, and let's see. And as you can see here, all right, you guys, as you can see, the low pressure, the Gulf floor is here in eastern Mississippi, just to the east southeast of Jackson, with possibly some heavy rains here ongoing. But look at the cells that's going to be forming here across south central Alabama, southern Georgia, and the Florida Panhandle. These are the cells that we will have to look out for all severe hazards, hail, damaging winds, and a few tornadoes could be possible. And look at the line of weather here just off of Florida's east coast. As we move this along further, let's go to about 5 o'clock, you guys. All right, and as we go to 5 o'clock, you guys, you can see this low starts to continue here across Mississippi. It's approaching Jackson. Look here across north central Alabama. Could be some heavy showers and thunderstorms. Have to be on the lookout. Even here across the Atlanta area, heavy rain. And as you can see, thunderstorms, sales are starting to possibly get going around Daytona Beach, Florida, Jacksonville. This will be around 5 in the evening. As we go into the nighttime hours, let's go to about 10 o'clock, you guys. As you can see, as this low pressure starts to weaken, as it starts to move to the northeast out of Mississippi back into northern Alabama, then the threat for the showers and thunderstorms starts to also move to the north and east here, entering parts of South Carolina here, you can see, you guys. And as we move on to the overnight hours, about 3 a.m., all right, this system continues to move on out, you guys, to the northeast here across North Mississippi, Alabama, and then look at the rains that's going to be ongoing across parts of South Carolina and North Carolina. Now we're going to take it to 7 a.m., you guys, tomorrow, which will be Friday morning. We're going to take it to 7 a.m. and we're going to segue this to Convective Outlook Day 2. And as you can see, we will have a marginal risk here or some severe weather across the Carolinas as this low continues to move on out here. As we check the categories for this, no tornado threat here across the Carolinas, which is good news. Hail probability, there'll be a chance, a 5% chance for some hail here across parts of South Carolina, North Carolina, and even parts of southern Virginia here. Now, as we take a look at the wind probability, a 5% here as well. And as we continue to move this on, let me go back to the models, you guys. Continue to move this on throughout Friday morning. You guys, you can see as this low starts to lose organization, become disorganized as it continues to move off into the eastern United States. Look at the heavy rain here across the Carolinas, North Carolina in particular by then. As we go to Friday evening, you can see showers and thunderstorms starting to pop up here again across Georgia, South Carolina, North Carolina, and even in Virginia. Look at the Outer Banks to be seeing some possibly heavy rain and sales here Friday afternoon. Okay, you guys, that's going to be it for the Carolinas and the eastern United States. We're going to take it now to Convective Outlook Day 2 across Oklahoma, Kansas, and Nebraska here. Yesterday, that threat did extend all the way down to Dallas, but Dallas is now just a marginal risk for severe weather on Friday, you guys. And I want to take this, we're going to take it back to 7 a.m. to the start of Convective Outlook Day 2. And we're going to check the probability for this region here, you guys. And as you can see, no tornado, a 2% possibility for some tornadoes here around the Oklahoma City area tomorrow. We have to be on the lookout for that. Hail, 15% chance across Oklahoma, Kansas, and parts of southeast Nebraska. And then we do have that 5% chance of hail, which extends all the way down into east central Texas. And even as far north as southern Minnesota here, you guys possibly could see some hail with this system. And as we move on to the wind probability, you can see a 15% chance for wind as well within that slight risk and a 5% within the marginal risk. Now, as we go on and look at the HRRR for this area, you guys, you can see 12 o'clock, nothing really too much going on. So this is probably going to be more of an afternoon, evening event for the Central Plains here, you guys. We go to 5 p.m., not much going on except Possibly some showers forming here across parts of Iowa and Minnesota, you guys. But other than that, maybe a shower popping up here in Nebraska, southern Nebraska, but not much going on yet. As we move on to about 9 p.m. Friday, you can see showers are starting to around Omaha, Nebraska. Showers are starting to develop, even now starting to get into parts of north central Kansas. As we move into overnight now, going into the 15th, which should be Saturday, you guys, you can see we had the heavy rain ongoing here across just about splitting the central Minnesota here. Minneapolis could be seeing some heavy rain extending down into Iowa. The slight risk area still hasn't seen too much action going on here, even into the overnight hours. So as we move on to the 5 a.m., you can see still I don't see much going on. So this will be something we'll have to see. A little wintry precipitation could be possible here in northwest Minnesota. But other than that, you still have some showers here across north and eastern Minnesota, extending on down into Iowa and even getting into parts of northern Missouri here. And that will lead us to about 7 a.m., which is as far as the HRRR will go out, you guys. And as you can see, nothing much still going on. This is in this slight risk area, but by then we are now segueing to convective outlook day 3, you guys, which does shift the threat here across parts of northern Louisiana, much of Arkansas, Missouri, the Boot Heel of Missouri, southeast Missouri, and even parts of southern Illinois, the Memphis area, and even parts of northwest Mississippi could be under a threat for severe weather. I'm sure all hazards will be possible again here on Saturday. We'll come back and take a look at this tomorrow, you guys, tomorrow morning to see how these storms will start to materialize here across the mid-Mississippi Valley. If you haven't done so already, please be sure to share, like, and subscribe so you can stay up to date and weather aware here at your Weather on the Fly as the Storm Prediction Center and Weather Prediction Center comes out with the updates. I have them right here in my Shorts tab for you guys on the fly. Everyone be safe, be careful, and we'll come take a look at all of this weather again tomorrow morning. Talk to you all later.